Hi, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, and I'm going to go ahead on and get into a couple of keys to victory I think the Saints need to do to pull off the win up in Houston this upcoming Sunday. But before I get into that, I want to apologize, Who That Nation. Last video, I said that the offensive coordinator for the Texans was Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know why I thought that. I must have heard that about him getting an interview and just assumed that he was the offensive coordinator, but he's actually not. It's actually Bobby Slowick, and he's been doing a wonderful job with the guys that he has. You know, CJ Stroud, everybody kind of figured that CJ Stroud would be playing good, but I don't think anybody expected him to be playing this good. And all the weapons he have are just been, you know, kind of overachieving. You know, Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins, everybody knew Tank Dell was a dog, but you know, a lot of these guys aren't just they weren't just projected to just be number one wide receivers, but they all doing, you know, productive things on the field, you know, like a number one wide receiver. You know, all these guys are kind of like in that wide receiver 2, you know, tier of guys, you know, coming into the season as far as expectations go. But you know, they all doing their part and they all doing very well. Damian Pierce, he's another good explosive running back. I think we need to really watch him. He's a guy that a lot of people saying he hasn't been patient enough hitting his holes within the scheme this year. And I think that this is just a person that you just got to wait. I mean, this is just a person that you got to keep your eye on, because he's just a big play to happen at any moment. You know, kind of like Najee Harris last year with the Steelers. You know, when we played Najee, he was kind of like in a slump or whatever, but as soon as we played Najee, he went off, you know. I think our defense, we really need to make this team one-dimensional. We can't just let them run the ball on us, and that goes for CJ Stroud as well. Like, the main thing I think we need to do is keep CJ Stroud from extending the plays on us. Like, that's the biggest thing I think we need to do. Stop the scramble. This game, it kind of remind me of going into it as the Green Bay game. Like, the Green Bay game, we had a good game against them in the first half, but everything fell apart in the second half because I think Joy Love started scrambling, making plays with his legs. Baker Mayfield, he was scrambling, making plays with his legs. We can't let teams get back in the game and, you know, start extending drives with their legs. I don't know if it's Dennis Allen's scheme that allows this thing to happen, or is it just, you know, these quarterbacks are just making good plays, you know, spinning out of tackles, you know, just eluding the defenders on our defensive line. Like, I think the defensive line have the players to, you know, contain these quarterbacks, but I just think that, you know, sometimes they get the best of them at the wrong times on third down. And I think when we plan the contain, we're not trying to go in for the second. We mainly just trying to contain the quarterback. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. Like, you can't just go in for the sack, because if you miss, you got to worry about giving up a big gain, especially if we're playing man instead of zone. And we play a lot of man. We don't play much zone, so when these DBs are checking these wide receivers downfield, shoot, things tend to be open. So I don't know if DA gonna have to change up his scheme for this game, but I think that's the number one thing we need to do. Tank Dell, he might not play this game. We still got to see if he's gonna play or not. If he don't play, that'll be huge. But if he does play, I still believe in the cornerbacks we got with our secondary. If he don't play, we still got to worry about Nico Collins. We still got to worry about Dalton Schultz. Like, these guys been making plays all year. You know, CJ Stroud just been in sync and in real good chemistry with these guys, and I think that, you know, we got the playmakers to slow him down with making these passes, but I think that Pete Warner, he's gonna have to do a real good job on, you know, containing Dalton Schultz for not making no big plays, and as far as Tyrann Mathieu go as well, you know, because I think we're gonna have the safeties and the linebackers on them. We get Marcus May back this game, so that's a plus because we get that veteran experience, even though Jordan Howden has been playing well himself. I actually like how Lonnie Johnson been playing at the safety position. But as far as the defense go, the defense, they pretty good on offense, ladies and gentlemen. Like, they really good. Like, they don't allow much touchdowns. Derek Stingley, he's not going to be playing this game, I don't think. But we still got to worry about Steven Nelson. He's a very good cornerback. A lot of people think Steven Nelson been having a better year than Derek Stingley when Derek Stingley was healthy, from what I heard. So we got to watch out from, you know, throwing the ball to that guy when he's in coverage. But like I said, I still believe in our wide receivers. Chris Olave, he's been in a slump lately. I think it's just all in his head lately. But I think he's due for a bounce back game. Michael Thomas, I think he need to be the focal point of the offense. So hopefully he could get over 100 yards or at least get in the end zone this game, once or twice. Rashid Shaheed, I would like to see him get the ball out in space more. So, you know, if we can get this trio really going, it should be a pretty easy day, because they have a real good passing defense. Now they run game is probably their weakest, but they did stop Bijan Robinson last week. You know, they made it their business to let Desmond Ridder beat them, and that's exactly what Desmond Ridder did. He beat them. So I think if they focus in on AK, our trio really have to step up. But I believe that AK could, you know, have a nice game against them, and maybe Kendre Miller and Taysom Hill if we use all three of them, you know, against their defensive line. On their defensive line, they have Will Anderson, a rookie. I don't think he had a big breakout game yet. They still waiting on that, but you know, it's going to be interesting to see the matchups we have with him. They also have our ex-Saint, Sheldon Rankins. Everybody know I love me some Sheldon Rankins, but you know, I'm liking what Brian Brzee doing right now. I'm liking what Brian Brzee. I ain't missing him. I'm loving what Brian Brzee doing right now. I think Brian Brzee been playing damn near better than Colin Sanders, and we expected Colin Sanders to be just coming up in here dominant. But even Roach doing his thing. But as far as them stopping our run game, they got some players on the D line. They got some players on the front seven, Perriman. I think that if we just establish the run on them, I think it'll be a much easier day on Carr. And I think it'll be a much easier day for play actions to be called. And Carr has to sell the play action more. I was watching Deuce videos, and Carr does a good job at selling these play actions. We might see a switch up at the offensive line position. I don't know if Penning is going to start or not, but if he does, I would like to see Pete at left guard, because Penning is having problems in the run game blocking. But Pete can block very well. So I think if you just put Pete at left guard starting, I think that'll help out the left side tremendously, because we run way more on the right side than the left side. So I think just having Pete on the left side alone will help the left side tremendously, because he can pull, he can swing out, like he can do a lot of athletic things when it comes to the run game, and you know, it can help out in the screens. I expect us to do about the same amount of motions, maybe even less, because all the penalties we drawn last week. I don't think Pete Carmichael is going to want to risk those penalties against a much better team with the Texans than the Patriots. So to cut down on that, I don't think they're going to practice it more. I just think they're going to not implement it more. Like, that's just the type of conservative mindset Pete Carmichael has, and Dennis Allen, you know. But I think this game gonna be a lot similar to the Packers game with Jordan Love. Like, I think Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud share a lot of similar traits, and the wide receivers that Jordan Love was playing with, I think they share a lot of similar traits to what the Texans receivers have. You know, just speedy guys that can make plays that you just gotta watch. But hopefully Alontae Taylor get his first pick. C.J. Stroud hasn't thrown a pick all season. Hopefully he get his first one. And hopefully we be sacking his ass too, because they haven't given up a sack in 3 games, people. 3 games they haven't given up a sack. And it's just like, you just envy that, because it's like we get sacked every game. But hopefully we can have a clean pocket for Derek Carr. Derek Carr, do not hold on to the ball long. and hopefully that whatever switch up we make on the offensive line pay dividends for us, and we could just stop the scramble. Like, I'm tired of the narrative that Dennis Allen can't stop mobile quarterback. He need to put that narrative to bed this week, and if we could get a win this week, we get the ball rolling. We're 4-2 headed into the Thursday night game versus the Jaguars. If we could win this game right here, it'll make you much better for maybe losing to the Jaguars, who has a much more seasoned coach in Doug Peterson than DeMeco Ryans. Even though I think DeMeco Ryans is doing a fantastic job for his first year as a head coach. I would like to see Marshawn Lattimore with his head in the game. I feel like when Marshawn Lattimore don't go against top wide receivers, he kind of get lazy. He kind of get bored. He don't just have his head in the game all the way. I would like to see his head in the game 100% this game, as if he was playing a Mike Evans. Even though the last time he faced Mike Evans, a lot of people think that Mike Evans was getting the best of him, and he kind of was, but it was just only on limited snaps. I think Sean would have bounced back, as the game would have went on if Mike would have stayed. And that's just my personal opinion. But, if Sean want to be that upper echelon of cornerback, he got to bring it week in and week out. And, when these balls are coming to him and he make a play on it, he got to really make a play on it. Like, that's another thing with the Green Bay game. I felt like he was just sleepwalking on that 2-point conversion. Like, man, when you want to be great, bro, you got to stop these certain moments that could be game-changing. So hopefully Sean can lock in. Hopefully Taylor, he get his first pick. And, man, hopefully Brzee, he do some work. I would like to see Brzee get some more sacks. I'm tired of seeing Jalen Carter with all these pressures and all these sacks and all that. And, we just traded away our pick, and now we maybe benching Trevor Penning. Like, all that it's just getting to my head, right? I would like to see Brzee get him a nice sack or a forced fumble or something, so we could just say what our rookie is doing compared to what Philly rookie is doing that we could have had. But let me know in the comment section down below, to that nation, like, what do you guys think our keys to victory is? And what do you think the Saints need to do to pull out the win in Sunday in Houston?